Hello and welcome. I'm Eric Gao, and here's what happened this week. A Taiwanese master of Beijing opera is making sure that her skills are passed on to the next generation of performers. Our reporter Yu Huang has more.
Ritually sipping on a cup of tea, Beijing opera master Wei Haiming announces that for the first time, she's taking on 3 young artists as her students. Wei has taught many performers in her decades-long career, but in the world of Beijing opera, the relationship between master and student only becomes official through an apprenticeship ceremony like this. With prominent figures from the art bearing witness, Wei vows to pass down her lifetime of skills to her new proteges.
我教戏真的教得非常的巨细靡遗，每一个大大小小的细节我都不放过，因为我觉得我的整个成长的环境呢是现在的学生所没有的，所以我很希望把我自己过去所有的经验、所有的经历都分享给他们。
A young enthusiast of Beijing opera in the 1980s, Wei took the risk of watching a performance in Hong Kong in the 1980s. During Taiwan's martial law era, this was an act that could result in jail time. Wei was deeply touched by the performance of Chinese master Mei Baozhou. She applied to be his first official apprentice in the 1990s, as soon as China and Taiwan re-established contact. That's when she learned Mei's style as a professional actor. The style was created by Mei Baozhou's father, Mei Lanfang, the first Chinese opera star to tour worldwide in the 1930s.
梅兰芳大师他们这一代的这个艺术的这种黄金年代所留下来的这些东西呢，现在似乎有了就是淡化的感觉。那我觉得这个时候恰恰就是我们这一代的这个演员或者说学生，我们应该出头来，帮助把这个梅派的表演艺术的这种真谛，或者说是他的唱念做打的这个真正好的地方在什么地方，能够传承给现在比较年轻的朋友。
A well-known work representative of Mei's style is Very Well My Concubine. It depicts King Chu's lover, Lady Yu, performing a lost sword dance before facing death. Mei learned the nuances of Mei's style, such as holding a light sword as if it were heavy, and carrying out the movements gently. Wei wants to pass down her skills now because she feels that Beijing opera is a fading art. The 3 students she has chosen are all established performers who are relishing the opportunity.
在这重新认识梅派的过程中，虽然我很焦急，但是艺术没有捷径。期待透过向魏老师一次次上课，努力把梅派戏学扎实到位。希望随着年龄的增长，对梅派的感悟要有更深刻的体会。
老师也是很耐心的一个字一个字教，所以我会 努力继续的在这边跟随老师的艺术，这样子。
Just like other older art forms, Beijing opera also faces difficulties finding an audience. Master Wei hopes these young performers will not just take on the tradition, but also develop an artistic language for their own generation, so Beijing opera can continue to survive and evolve. Patrick Chen and Yu Huang for TaiwanPlus.
From Beijing opera to modern musicals, the cast of a show based on a classic Taiwanese film reunited in Taipei for the production's 20th anniversary. Yvonne Yang was there.
A mini wedding expo was held in a hotel in Taipei on a Sunday in late June. It had all kinds of services anyone could book for their own ceremony. But there was one musical performance that was strictly a one-off. Love songs performed by a couple of unusual wedding singers, Broadway actors Willie Young and Dina Morishita.
Because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
The musical actors were in Taiwan to mark the 20th anniversary of the wedding Banquet, the musical, with the original cast reunited for a special live concert. The Wedding Banquet was first a 1993 movie from Taiwan-born director Ang Lee, telling the story of the struggle between a gay man and his family. The film was adapted as a stage musical in 2003.
After 20 years, we decided to bring it back, and we had a wonderful opportunity to bring it to Taiwan.
Yang and Morishita met in Broadway when there were not many opportunities for Asian actors. Yang founded a production company called Second Generation in an effort to put Asian actors center stage. 20 years later, what's Broadway like for Asians now?
It was really wonderful to give many Asian American performers their first opportunity to perform on a big stage, and then now, like the first Asian American Hamilton, his very first show ever was Making Tracks, actually, that we did.
For Morishita, back when she started performing, there was only one Broadway show that had roles for Asians, Miss Saigon. She said the scene has changed a lot.
There are more opportunities, and people are they're writing roles that aren't specific for any kind of ethnicity.
After the anniversary concert, Yang revealed they're working on the reboot of their musical. They have written a number of new songs for the new adaptation, and they have made some plot changes to bring it up to date, given the large strides society has made in the acceptance of LGBTQ people and culture.
But most importantly, it was about discovering what the universal themes of the musical are and of the story, and emphasizing that love is love, and that family is family, no matter what it looks like.
Language presents another challenge. In an immigrant family, each generation might speak a different language, something they've thought to introduce to the remake.
So we always had a language barrier between our other generation. And so it was important for us to emphasize that, so we translated the parents' songs into Mandarin. And then, and we have a little bit of Taiwanese in there.
After decades in the industry, Yang is still working on making Taiwan seen in the world.
And we want to continue to bring artists to Taiwan, and then continue to bring Taiwan stories to the world. That's our dream.
Remaking a musical from 20 years ago, adapted from a movie from a decade before that, Yang continues to find new contemporary resonance for the source material, proving Ang Lee's original Wedding Banquet is truly an everlasting feast. Devon Tsai and Yvonne Yang for TaiwanPlus.
In sports, a shakeup is coming to one of Taiwan's professional basketball leagues. A new company is taking over one of the T1 League's teams. The league says Taixing Holdings will take over the Taiwan Beer Hero Bears from the start of the next season. The team will continue to be based in Taipei. Taixing already runs a team in the rival Plus League. All T1 teams have a corporate backer. Taiwan Beer is in talks with Bank Sinopac to jointly sponsor the Taurian Leopards, which is also in the T1 League. Turning now to food. Taiwan is known for being a foodie's paradise. This week, a new award celebrated the country's cheaper dining options. Leslie Liao has more.
Ask anyone. Taiwan's got food, lots of it. From Michelin-starred fine dining restaurants to humble food stalls, well, Taiwan's got it all. And while much of the time it's the fancy eateries that get all of the attention, you don't want to miss out on some of the smaller establishments in the country. That's the thinking behind the very first 500 Bowls Food Awards. Really good food. The 500 Bowls Food Awards is a celebration of this, with the added caveat of affordability. It highlights Taiwan's 小吃 or snacks, smaller dishes that are both delicious and cheap.
在台湾的美食地图上，新增加了一块领域里面的指标。除了餐厅里面的盘餐之外，我们增加了小吃这个领域的指标。
If that concept sounds familiar, then you might be thinking about the Michelin Bib Gourmand, which evaluates a country's restaurants based on value. That's why the 500 bowls is colloquially referred to as Taiwan's Bib Gourmand. Here's how it works. 50 judges, made up of chefs, writers, athletes, YouTubers, and more, list their 10 favorite cheap eateries. Every nomination a restaurant gets represents one bowl. 50 judges naming 10 eateries each is how you get the titular 500 bowls. But because of overlap, there aren't actually 500 restaurants on the list, just 441. Over 40 of the restaurants were put forward by more than one judge, but one place managed to dominate the awards.
恭喜今年最多碗的得主7碗得主全控肉饭在彰化。
A food stall in central Taiwan's Zhanghua City earned 7 bowls thanks to its signature dish, soy sauce braised pork over rice. It's deceptively simple, but popular for a reason. Food selection in Taiwan is vast, and that's why 500 bowls may be necessary to do the country's food scene justice. But since several judges decided to give their bowls to the same restaurants, it's clear there are still favorites. Yisun Sun and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Now, some of Taiwan's local specialties can only be enjoyed at certain times of the year. Sandy Chi headed to the Bluefin Tuna Festival to get a taste of this season's special offerings.
This is Bluefin tuna. It's something of an icon in Donggang, southern Taiwan. Locals love this tuna, and it is said that it can be consumed from head to tail. It's Bluefin tuna season, a time when these massive fish migrate through nearby waters. And that's good news for seafood lovers, as bluefin meat makes some of the freshest sashimi.
It's really delicious.
我们点的是综合，那当然那个黑尾鱼是很容易就辨别 ，Q 弹不油腻。
A few decades ago, people in Taiwan weren't big fans of this fish. Back then, the country exported 80% of its bluefin catches to Japan. But that all changed after the first Bluefin Tuna Festival was organized in 2001.
我们很多餐厅，他开始会去研发一些黑尾鱼的料理。那他去研发出这样子的料理，其实游客来就变成说，这几年的黑尾鱼几乎是供不应求。
With the festival bringing in thousands of tourists, local seafood restaurants have strived to make their dishes even more unique and attractive.
这几年那个消费抬头意识蛮高的，大家都喜欢吃鲜甜的好的鱼。
Besides sashimi, local chefs have used every part of the fish to craft exquisite meals.
下巴、琵琶骨这做烤的是不输给生鱼片，另外还有眼睛，黑尾鱼的眼睛做汤也非常非常的好吃。尾巴的部分也可以做红烧的，也很棒。黑尾鱼可以从头吃到尾，由皮吃到内脏都非常好。
With so many new and creative ways of consuming this prized fish, seafood lovers are in for a real treat during Bluefin tuna season. Alex Chen, Kamashu, Pichi Zhuang, and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
An immersive theater production in Taipei has brought together local dancers, acrobats, drag queens, and musicians.
Is that this production is locally produced, and everyone that's a part of the production is based here in Taiwan and is an artist, working professional here in Taiwan. So we've got that local flavor, but that international standard.
The Night Witch is a show based around Lilith, a female demon from Jewish folklore. It was first produced by the Liliverse production team in 2021, and the team is now presenting it again with a new twist. Unlike most other theater performances, this one invites audience members to be part of the show, giving guests a more interactive experience. They're free to follow any of the characters as they try to find out which one is the real Lilith. Thank you for watching Here's What Happened. I'm Eric Gao. Take care and see you next time.